Yo, what's up, everyone? This is Aaron Nance with
The Dr. Jeffrey Foster,
and we are
Disturbing the Peace.
Here we talk about critical issues related to urban education as it relates to minoritized students within K-12 populations. And if you guys been following us for a very long time, you guys know that we always start with our affirmations.
Yes.
So, Dr. Foster, what is your affirmation for today?
My affirmation for today is I am the GOAT.
Oh. And for those who don't know what the GOAT stands for, it's us.
Yeah.
The greatest of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And the second part is where we start with, just checking in.
Yeah.
So if you could tell me in maybe less than 30 seconds, Dr. Foster, so we can really get to the meat of what we want to talk about. How do you feel?
I am checking in at a 9 out of 10 today.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. You want to give a little bit more context?
Yeah, I just want to say I feel good to be here in my hometown, born and raised, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Come on and raise up.
But sometimes you forget. I'm in a good space right now, and when you're away,
yeah,
and you're in a space that's different,
yeah,
negative, toxic,
yeah,
you learn to appreciate when you're back.
the small things.
Yeah, that's the small things.
Yeah,
I pretty
agree.
much.
I agree.
Yeah. So what is your affirmative word for today?
My affirmative word today is tranquility. Tranquility.
Don't we all want that?
Oh my gosh, man. It's so essential to the development of mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
So tranquility is my word of today. And I'm also checking in at probably a little bit higher than Dr. Foster, maybe a 9.5. Dare I even say a 10.
Wow.
Today has been a very great day. In spite what it could have been, in spite what it may be, today was a really good day today. So we have to count our blessings, for sure. We have to count our blessings.
Yes.
Yeah. So we cannot wait to get into this topic of our podcast.
Yeah.
What should we title this talk? If we had a title, what would it be? Because we didn't think about that.
Let's come up with a title once we finish having our good talk. Let's come up with it at the end.
Okay, I agree. So me and Dr. Foster, as you've been following us, we are critical thinkers within marginalized and minoritized communities. So we're always trying to shape the voices and narratives coming from ethnographers through our lens about the experiences that these youths may be dealing with.
Yeah.
So within the past couple of days, we have got the opportunity to visit schools within the North Carolina region, North Carolina area.
Yeah.
And so in the state of North Carolina, which I'm sure is probably in other schools, you have some students who are self-contained, and then you have other students who are in the general population. And so we want to understand what are the similarities, what are the differences, and if these programs are really needed as they are state funded. So Dr. Foster, I want to start with you. So what is your take on general ed or general pop as it relates to self-contained? And do you agree with it?
Well, I want to scale it back a little bit and provide a little bit of knowledge.
Context?
Context. This is not our area of expertise. However, we are a little knowledgeable about it. I first want to say in the United States, we have IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act.
Yeah.
So basically, so that says that we have to educate those students who have
IEP and 504.
Yes, disabilities. Some people say differing abilities, and so it is
or ED. It could be interchangeable.
Well, yeah. Well, ED, educationally disadvantaged. That's I've heard that term as well.
Okay.
But there's a lot of different terms
That you can use to classify.
Yeah, and then there's some places call things special education. That's the common one used in North Carolina. I know exceptional children is used more frequently.
Or now the new term that's becoming more common is intellectual abilities. That's now the new common term as it relates to students who are deemed like special education.
Well, but then there's different types of students as well. Who, I
True.
mean, it may not be intellectual. It may be students who have emotional disabilities or emotional dysfunctions.
Right, and so I think that's part of the problem.
And then
not classifying students based on the IEP of 504.
Well, I know, but you see, there's so many different terms and so many different areas. But and then you have some students who they basically they have a physical differing ability. There's so many different things when it relates to having an IEP or a 504. However, some students are able to be in what they call the general classroom. The general education classroom, and then you have some students, they can spend a little bit of time in there, but they can't. They really need a one-on-one or a very small group setting. And I just think about students who are on the autism spectrum, and you have those students. You have some that are like they are not able to control their body. They're nonverbal and things like that. They're not able to be in a general education classroom for a good majority of the time. But I've seen some schools where those students, they'll let them go to specials with the general education classroom. So it's just so different everywhere. But I definitely agree that we need to discuss what's going on. Are these students really getting what they need, what they deserve? In traditional public schools and charter schools.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the different terms, I'm always looking through it through a critical lens of my own lens as one who was identified as a special student. Yeah. And look at me now, So I think the classification alone really bothers me.
Okay.
Now, I definitely understand about students who have IEPs and 504s, but classifying them to say, okay, because you have this IEP or 504, then you're not able to do certain things because of your accommodation, and that's what. But outside of that, more than anything, it's the terms, it's the words that are used to refer to students as being in the self-contained or the general pop. So it's how we classify students in that way that truly bothers me, and I feel like the terms that are used, especially here in North Carolina, are not culturally responsive and are not culturally relevant.
Ooh, let's pause right there, because we often forget that being culturally relevant and responsive is not just about race, y'all.
It's not.
It's about varying abilities as well.
Definitely.
And there are a lot of children and people who are getting overlooked because of their varying abilities. Like, especially physical abilities.
Right, and then...
And like the deaf, I want to say like the deaf population, that's why there's this movie, these like series of movies that are all silent.
I
the
saw
horror
one of those.
movies.
Okay.
Yes, and it made me think, oh my God, like it makes me think, oh my God, I don't pay attention too much of people who are in the deaf community.
Right. You know why?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't affect us.
Yeah.
We only care about things when they affect us.
I have an epiphany.
What?
Ding, ding, ding. Did you hear what you just said?
Yes.
You said we don't pay attention because it don't affect us.
Right.
Maybe that's how the dominant culture feels.
Exactly. I was watching a video of two of one of the best scholars to ever grace this earth is Angela Davis and Jane Elliott. and they were on stage speaking. And Jane Elliott she's an advocate. She's a white woman, I believe. I think she identifies white, but she was well known for the brown eye, blue eye test.
Yeah.
And then Angela Davis, she's definitely an advocate.
I know what you're talking about. That was from the 1980s or something.
Yeah,
it was good.
And so Angela Davis, you have this advocate. She was on the FBI watch list. Like, she was all about advocacy, and not only that, prison reform.
Yeah.
Prison reform.
And
oh, sorry. I just want to get this out.
Well, I wanted to give context right quick about why. We got to talk about why she was on that FBI hit list.
Well, okay.
Well, just real quick, just because they consider her a terrorist for being an advocate and all about Black Power.
And wasn't she a Black Panther?
Yeah, Black Panther.
And so during that conversation, Jane Elliott said that, in which I agree, Toni Morrison has said it, various scholars have said it, that there's only one race, which is the human race. And Jane Elliott posed a question. She said, if you want to go through the experiences that Black people have been through, stand up. And she said, hold up, I don't think you guys heard the question. She said that she said, stand up if you want to be Black and go through the experiences that Black people have been through, stand up.
Yeah.
And it was very telling about the experiences that not only our ancestors suffered, but how we continue to suffer through the laws and the policies that are continually to police how we teach corrective curriculum as it relates to our students.
Yes.
So then if we're talking about marginalization, we also have to talk about categorization as well.
Preach. You better preach. No, seriously.
It just bothers me because it's like, yeah, I agree that I agree with separate settings, but what I don't agree is how it mirrors closely the school to prison pipeline. Because in prison, I'm becoming an advocate for prisons, but for prison, you have the good behavior prisoners who are in the general population. And then you have those who are self-contained in the SHU, which is called the Special Housing Unit, when they are restricted to only 1 hour a day out of their cell, which messes with their mental capabilities. So then, in a sense, it's almost like we're mirroring, which I understand we need separate settings for our students, but then how much are they learning? How much are they getting because they are being labeled and classified in the special housing unit within the educational system?
So it's the socialization piece.
Not only that, the socialization piece is in there, so you don't know how to communicate verbally, and then it is also the not being taught different curriculums. So when I went to go visit school this week within North Carolina, students was on their laptops versus other classrooms I was seeing. You have the teacher standing up instructing the students.
Wow. So my question for you is now, and I do know in North Carolina there's different types of separate setting classrooms, and sometimes there are classrooms for students who are emotionally disturbed.
For sure.
And then there's you have those classrooms where there's students who are like on the autism spectrum.
Right.
And they have to have sometimes like padded walls and things like that.
Right.
So which classroom did you observe?
The ones, it was a little less restrictive than the ones you were talking about, where kids displayed emotional behaviors. Mm-hmm. And my thought process is, going back to what Angela Davis was trying to do, is to rehabilitate these students.
Ding, ding, ding. We need rehabilitation everywhere.
Everywhere. Social and emotional learning is big.
Quintessential. And it makes me, and I hate to talk about myself right now, but it just makes me want to go back and get a degree in counseling, mental health, some type of mental health, because everything, like, that's the root. Talk about being restorative, and you have to go to the root cause.
Right.
There's so many root causes, especially with marginalized groups.
Right, I agree.
So, I agree wholeheartedly about rehabilitation.
And that's all I'm saying. Like, I don't. No more should we be regulated towards the biases that continue to perpetuate the ongoing system that's been there for the last 400 plus so years. We are just repeating a cycle that's already been in place.
Yeah.
And so, how do we prevent that from happening moving forward? What can we do to stop it? Now, I'll be honest to say it might not happen in my lifetime, but what can we do to start the progress of changing their trajectory for students to come?
The first things first is moving away from the 19th century factory model of teaching.
Why? It works. Everybody's learning. Everybody's passing. Everybody's doing this.
First, it was everybody's learning the same thing. Now it's everybody gets an equal chance of passing. No, it's not a one-size-fits-all.
Oh, I know. We saw that at our last experience.
Oh Lord. Ooh, I hope some of them are I hope some of them are listening to this.
Me too. Me too. And I'm talking about several past experiences.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been through the one-size-fits model. And if that is your approach to teaching and education, I would highly consider maybe another position outside of education, because you're doing students a disservice. You're not helping them by teaching them one-size-fits-all model. But you know what's interesting?
What?
When teachers prescribe to a one-size-fits-all model, that's when the categorizations happen for the marginalized students.
Yep, because guess what?
Because they're not being culturally responsive.
Relevant.
And relevant. Go
and
ahead.
Guess what? Oh, I'm sorry. Because you get me. See, I'm about to get revved up.
I'm already there.
Because you're right. You're onto something. Because if you are putting everybody in the same box, then you're like, oh, you don't fit in this box.
Right.
You don't fit in this mode.
Right.
Someone needs to teach you, because I can't focus on you because I'm too busy doing a one-size-fits-all.
Exactly. Or you're being rude and you're being disrespectful. You don't know how to listen. You don't know how to teach.
That part. You don't have my interest. You don't have my attention. And you don't have a relationship with me.
Say that again.
You don't have a relationship with me.
That's it. You
don't care about me.
Exactly. What's that book called? The Dumb Black Kid in the Back of the Classroom? Is that what it's called? No. We were talking about the dumb black boy and with your research. And
yes. And we wrote a book about that too.
Yeah. Right?
Yes. In my research on black males in education growing up, I was the dumb, bad black boy before. Me.
But needless to say, you were a genius.
Yeah, I was not captivated.
Right.
They didn't have my attention.
Right.
They didn't build a relationship with me. They didn't bother to understand me.
And even in our doctoral journey, some of that still takes precedence.
It sure does.
Some of it still takes precedence.
And sometimes, and I'm learning, the older I get, it be your own people.
I'm telling you.
These same people that want to say, we want this, we want equity and all of that stuff, are the same people that are perpetuating
the westernized hegemonic practices that's been attacked since the last 400 years.
And they don't even know that they're doing it.
You know why?
Why?
Because they've been doing it.
Yep.
They've been doing it.
And they're doing what's easy. They feel it's easy.
It's a whitewashed system.
Yeah. White supremacy.
It's a whitewashed system that we're living in, and you can't tell me how to be an advocate. You're not advocating for yourself. On that note,
or your children, your students, the most vulnerable people. How dare you?
But people don't look at them as people. They're a child, and I'm the authority figure.
Oh Lord!
So you're gonna do what I say?
Yep.
Because you're the child.
Because I said.
Because I said so. How many times have you heard "stay in the child's place"?
Too often.
I mean, you're an adult, and sometimes we still get that. You know,
meanwhile, we should be raising up children to question everything.
Exactly.
Critical literacy.
Critical literacy, critical thinkers.
Yeah.
For sure. I have a paper out that talks about the genius of black kids who are in special education. Please check it out. Type in my name, Aaron and Nance, in Google Scholar. It will come up. Please read it. Dr. Foster has also published some research and some op-eds on school reform, school leadership,
and personalized learning.
Personalized learning.
Not choosing a one-size-fits-all approach to anything. I have a new article that I wrote about Montessori done wrong and Montessori done right, and I can't wait for us to do a podcast related to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's something that was very fresh.
For sure.
That both of us got to experience.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So please be sure to check us out. More to come moving forward. Until next time, this is...
Well.
Oh.
So what is the title of this podcast?
Oh.
Episode?
See, I was so enthralled.
I know. We trying to calm down after
oh my God.
this
and there's
discussion.
so much more we could talk about.
Yeah.
There's so much more, but I think we definitely hit the highlights. And if I had to title this podcast, I would say Jam Pop versus Self-Contained.
Yes.
What would you say?
Gen Pop versus Self-Contained, and the quest for culturally responsive education.
There we go.
So Gen Pop versus Gen Ed, while we're on the quest for culturally responsive education.
Culturally sustaining.
Culturally sustaining, very good.
Culturally sustaining pedagogical practices.
So culturally sustaining pedagogical practices for students who are in Gen Pop versus
self-contained.
Okay,
like
y'all gonna have to remember that because we'll see. Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
Remember to continue to love yourself, love each other, support each other. Reach out to us via email, social media, and we will definitely respond. Until then, this is Aaron Ants with
Dr. Jeffrey Foster,
and we are Disturbing the Peace.
Peace out, y'all.